a friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction video 613. Dang, that neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, I have been ready to watch this video ever since I seen it pop up on my YouTube last Sunday. But I was like, no. I'm gonna wait until a day comes when me and my brothers and sisters can watch it together. And that day is finally here. And that man that I'm talking about that this video come from is Kevin from JustThoughtLounge. Back to JustThoughtLounge, y'all. And check the title of the video out. Argument with children turns deadly. The shocking case of a G.K. Owens true crime documentary. The first part, y'all, is why I was like, man, I gotta check this video out, man. How could an argument with children turn deadly? You know what I'm saying, man? I don't even want to predict anything or anything like that, but that title just got me feeling like the adult gonna end up being the one in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? You freaking kill kids because y'all had a dispute? I don't know, y'all. Let's just find out what the dispute is about. But before we find that out, Bean Team, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you might need. Get what you need, please. We are back to Kevin from JustThoughtLounge. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
Susan Lawrence was the neighbor that no one liked. She complained about noise. She yelled and cursed at the neighborhood children. She had no trespassing signs placed on the open green space outside her home where the kids liked to play. Susan called the sheriff's office on her neighbors frequently. Then, one summer night, tensions in the neighborhood boiled over. The sheriff's office was called out again, but this time, before they could reach the house, a gunshot rang out, and a mother of 4 was dead.
Oh.
Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to JustThoughtLounge. Today's case has made headlines internationally, and that's not surprising. What is shocking is how a neighborly dispute could grow so out of control, and how a self-defense law could potentially justify the shooting of a mother standing up for her children. Let's take a look.
Get whatever you may need. And it seemed like that the lady, can't remember her name, Sarah, something, whatever the lady name is, she didn't kill an actual child, she killed the mother's child. I guess they got into an argument over the children being too loud or whatever, you know what I'm saying, man? So that's some clarification, but I'm not even sure on that just yet. Let's find out.
Southwest 108th Lane in Ocala, Florida, is lined with uniform homes, each one divided into separate apartment units. They sit on relatively generous plots of land with greenery to the front and a quiet road where children can run around, visit with their friends, and ride their bikes. The neighborhood is full of families. The children often gather on the open green to play sports and other games, their parents sharing the duties of supervising their activities. This was the case just before dark on June 2nd, 2023. For most of the children, the school year had just ended. That Friday night marked the beginning of the summer holidays. For these kids, it was one of the most exciting times of the whole year. At just before 9 p.m., the joyful atmosphere was harshly interrupted. From down the street, neighbors heard the distinctive sound of a single gunshot ring out. From the open green, local residents watched as a mother of four, Ajika Owens, collapsed to the ground. She was outside of a neighbor's house just across the street from her own home. Her 9-year-old son had been next to her.
911 was the
The white old lady that lives right there, the one that always calls the cops. Hey, chill, come here. Y'all boys come here. Come here. Hey, y'all boys come here.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
Hey, your mom's laying in the grass or what?
I need you to repeat the address for me to make sure I have it correct.
I don't know what's going on. We just heard a gunshot.
Okay,
We think
sir.
your mom's laying in the grass, but
Sir.
nobody wants to go over there. We ain't trying to get caught.
Sir, this is very important. I need you to repeat the address for me to make sure I have it right.
Hey, y'all boys, back up. It's the old lady that always calls the cops over here.
Sir.
Hey, Izzy, get over here.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am?
I need you to go inside your
Hey,
house
y'all boys, back up.
and lock the door for your safety.
Okay, she's in front of the lady's house. She was knocking on her door.
Okay.
Hey, it's the old lady that always calls the cops over here.
Okay.
Sir, do you see the deputy?
Right there, right here. She's on the ground. Hey, the cops just put up. They're right here. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir.
Panicked parents and the neighbors were not the only residents to place a call to 911. From inside Unit 3, behind the door that Ajika had approached moments before, 58-year-old Susan Lawrence placed her own panicked and distressed call to emergency services.
Oh my God, this lady just tried to break down my door. I shot through the door. Oh my God.
Okay, repeat that address for me to make sure I have it correct.
They were trying to come in my house.
Okay, what's going? Take a deep breath for me. Calm down.
Oh my God.
You said someone tried to break down your door. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, the woman was screaming and yelling and she was trying to break down my door.
Okay, it was a female.
Yes. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed my gun and I shot at the door. And I thought she was going to kill me. Oh my God.
Okay, you said you shot at the door. Is that correct?
Yes, I shot at the door because she wouldn't stop. I told her to get away and she wouldn't. She just begging. She's begging. This is the woman who attacked me.
Okay, do you still see the subject?
I don't know where she is. I'm still in my house. I didn't open my door to her.
Did you know her?
Yes, she's come after me several times because of her children. Her children keep trespassing over here. They're bothering me and bothering me. They won't stop.
Is she a neighbor?
Yes.
Deputies
My brothers and sisters, this is a tricky one so far because I don't know what side to believe, man. Like, I don't know if to believe her, and I was calling her earlier, Sarah. Is her name Sarah or Susan? It's one of them, tomato. But I'm saying, man, like, I don't know to believe if she actually is telling the truth in this situation. Was Ajika knocking and banging on her door like that, or was it something else that happened and then you shot her? You know what I'm saying, man? Is she really telling the truth, or is she not? I don't know, y'all. It's a tricky one right now. We need some evidence. We need some CCTV footage, some cameras, some something. Let's go.
from the Marion County Sheriff's Office responded to the Green, where they found Ajika, or AJ as her friends knew her, suffering from a gunshot wound to the chest.
She's inside.
Okay.
Yes,
Where?
yes, perfect.
Bro, where? Ex-military. She's in that house, bro. That apartment. Right here. This first apartment. I need like a tour. We need to do CPR real quick.
Baby, wake up.
CPR.
Baby, wake up.
Let me see. Do we have any pulse?
Neighbors called for her young sons to keep their distance, and everyone kept an eye out for the woman they knew to be the shooter, their widely despised neighbor, Susan Lawrence. Officers were directed to Susan's door.
All right. Sheriff's office, come outside with your hands up. This is the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Come outside with your hands up. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Turn around. Turn around. Where's your gun at?
You got hands? You got hands? You're going to be detained. Is there anybody else in the house?
There's somebody else in the house. Can I just get my water?
No, not right now.
All right.
You're not under arrest. You're being detained.
Okay, I understand.
Come over here.
Oh, wait, please close the door. I have two cats inside.
Hold
I
on.
don't want the cats to run out.
Deputies began piecing together the events of the evening before detectives arrived on scene.
Start giving first aid.
A single bullet hole had punctured the door to the unit. Susan had fired her gun from inside her living room directly at her 35-year-old neighbor who stood on the other side. The mother of 4 received emergency treatment on scene and then was transported to the hospital, where she died.
Damn.
Susan Lawrence was immediately detained, though not formally arrested or charged. In Florida, the controversial Stand Your Ground law protects the right of residents to defend themselves when within their own homes. In these cases, when threatened, there is no duty to retreat. The law allows for a deadly act of self-defense to be justified, but only when there is a reasonable threat of severe bodily harm or death. In the chaos of the emergency response, it was not yet clear what had prompted Susan Lawrence to make the extreme decision to fire her handgun.
All right, that's fine. We'll figure it out, all right?
Yeah, this is still a tricky one, y'all. That stand your ground law is freaking, man, it make the situation very freaking complicated or something, y'all. I don't know, man. At least we got the answer, because I was talking about earlier, like, is she lying on the phone call to the dispatcher? Did she really shoot through the door and the lady was outside and she was actually inside her home? Like, did it really happen like that? But apparently it did. But I don't know if she committed murder or not, y'all. I don't know if she wrong, if it was self-defense or if it was murder at this point. I don't know. We need some more details, man. We really seriously need some details. And rest in peace to AJ. Let's go.
Hi. Okay, so I'm going to record my all-time favorite song for you guys. It's called The Green Grass Grows All Around. Yeah, I'm bored. So, here we go. Down in the ground, there was a hole, the prettiest hole.
AJ was the mother of 4 children, the youngest only 3 years old and the eldest 12. She was a devoted mother, someone who would regularly go out of her way to help her friends and neighbors. She is remembered as someone who endeavored to set a positive example, expressing warmth, compassion, and positivity while building a healthy spiritual life path for her and her children.
All right. God bless y'all. Be encouraged and pray my strength in these edges.
On the evening of June 3rd, AJ crossed the street to confront Susan over the older woman's behavior and language towards her children. 2 of AJ's sons reported Susan throwing a roller skate and possibly an iPad at them. This incident was not the first of its kind. 58-year-old Susan Lawrence lived alone. She had no children. For 3 years, she had rented the apartment next to the large green. For at least 2 of those years, she had complained, repeatedly, to law enforcement, to other neighbors, and to whoever would listen about the noise and nuisance of the children playing next to her home. She had her landlord place no trespassing signs on the edge of his property line in a failed attempt to keep the children off of the grass. In early 2022, she reported that AJ hit her with her no trespassing sign. She would later claim that this was an attack on her. Witnesses described the encounter as heated, but non-violent.
Well, because the lady across the street on the phone hit me with the sign.
You already know.
Does she call the police on you?
Yeah.
One of her repeated claims was that AJ's children walked their dog on the green and failed to clean up after it.
Her children were walking their dog on the property. It clearly says no trespassing, and they're always walking the dog.
AJ told police that Susan would threaten her boys, telling them that if they continued to trespass on the green, she would have them arrested.
It's funny because I'm the one that never comes outside and says anything to her. She comes outside to go to the car or something. She sees him. Oh, I told you I'm going to have you arrested.
In December 2022, deputies responded to yet another of Susan's calls. This time, she said that the children had again ignored her sign, and then, she claimed, they had stolen it. She had another encounter with AJ.
Hello. Sheriff's office.
Hi.
What's going on this evening?
Lots of children screaming their full heads off, running around. I had my truck parked in front here, so I didn't have to listen to the screaming and yelling. As soon as I moved the truck, the kids are coming up. I'm like, guys, stop. They know they're not supposed to be over here. They've been told many times. They've previously stolen a trespassing sign. And the little kid tells me to shut up to my face. I said, don't be disrespectful to me. And he's exchanging words back and forth. I'm like, listen, my name is Dr. Williams. Don't tell me to shut up. And he was calling me names. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. I said, go wherever you live. All of a sudden, knock. His mother comes over here. If you treat my son like that again, I'm going to rip your ass out and go beat you up. Excuse me? I don't bloody well think so. And I said, see that no trespassing sign? Get off my porch. And no, I'm not going to. I said, yeah, I'm calling the sheriff's department. I don't know who the hell she was, but...
Do you know where she lives?
I guess somewhere in here.
Do you know what she looks like?
She was black in 20s, 30s, but I'm not going to take this.
Subsequent.
Man, after just watching what been going on in the past with them, this neighborly dispute, it's just sad, y'all, that it got to the point where it got to where one of them had to lose their lives. AJ had to lose her life over this ish, man. And it also making me just think, and I'm just thanking God, man, that I live in my neighborhood, not even just my neighborhood, just my street. I live in a circle, y'all. Like I live in a, you know what I'm saying? I live in a dead end circle. And so all my neighbors around me, long story short, story long, we get along great. We get along great, man. Nobody bother nobody all loud and being all crazy. We did have one bad apple in the bunch, but that been like 2-3 years ago, man. Everybody is good over here, and I just thank God for that, because I have been in situations of having horrible neighbors who get on your effing nerves and being all loud and always outside and doing the craziness and all that and that. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Some of y'all out there have dealt with them too. So it's just like, dude, thank God that I'm not even in a situation like this. But even though this situation they was in, I just hate it ended the way it did. Like it just escalated and escalated. I still don't know if I'm gonna say she a murderer or not. Like she killed AJ, but was she in the right for killing her? I still don't know, man. I don't know. AJ was on her property. That's Florida with the stand your ground law. This is gonna be a tricky one, man. I don't know if she gonna go to prison or not. Let's keep going. Good video so far, Kevin. Let's go.
Calls to police made by Susan did little to defuse the situation. Indeed, there was nothing that law enforcement could or would do to address the noise made by neighborhood children playing. Susan's claims that the children were antagonizing her, damaging her truck, or risking her safety by leaving toys out near to the sidewalk were countered by the parents' assertions that she, not the kids, was the problem.
Kids keep running back and forth over here. When the kids are out front, it's really noisy. For some reason, they love to play over here. I'm like, guys.
Probably because it's open.
I understand that. I have migraines, horrible migraines. I had a very bad car wreck. I don't want to hear these children. The kids are not hurting anybody. The kids, they're not damaging anything. Well, they're damaging me because the migraines are so bad. Most days I could barely stand. Come on. I mean, they literally live across the street on the other side. They don't.
I understand what you're telling me, and I get it, but you don't have sole power to say, hey, they can't be in this parking lot.
He's trespassing right now. He's trespassing.
He came over to come ask us a question.
And he's
what do you need us to do? What do you want us to do?
I mean, he needs to get, because he's screaming all the time too.
Okay.
He just needs to get off.
And I was trying to reason with her one day because we were all playing here. The kids, everything jumped. All right, let's go. And she's like, hey, you know what? One day you guys are gonna die. And I'm like, and that's when I like, whoa.
I'm getting too much feedback on the phone from the dog.
I'm sorry?
There's some place where he's not barking. Please, I'm getting too much feedback. I can't hear my customers. Dog, tapping.
It's a dog. We can't stop the dog from barking.
Yeah, but it's too much feedback. Can you please at least go someplace where I'm not getting too much feedback?
Okay, she doing the most now. I gotta call it out, man. I gotta call the BS out when I see it. She doing the most, man. Now that right there give you like just a little preview of what the freak she really got going on with her neighbors. You know what I'm saying? When the cops not there, how she really is. Yes, I was trying to hold back and see if she really was the Karen type of get off my lawn old lady. You know what I'm saying? No kids, living with her cats, hate the world type of, you know what I'm saying? But it seemed like she is like that, man. And especially when you think about the fact that she trying to own the parking lot. Like she act like like people cannot be in the parking lot like that's a part of her house. She acting like the parking lot is a part of her yard. You know what I'm saying, man? No, that parking lot is for the public. Anybody can be in the damn parking lot, lady. And that right there, can you shut the dog up? Can you move the dog? She was showing her true colors to the officers then. Let's go.
I mean, that's
all right. Well, you have a good one. Apparently, we can't stay here and have a conversation with shit.
That's what I'm saying. So. That's what I'm saying. She's out over there, man.
The last complaint that Susan made to police was in a 911 call placed only minutes before she fired the shot that killed A.J. Owens. On that call, Susan told police that yet again the children were on the property where she lived, making noise and leaving their things out. She was told that deputies were on their way to check it out. AJ then came to her door, demanding that they discuss her treatment of the children. 2 minutes after disconnecting the call to 911, Susan walked into her bedroom where she kept 2 handguns in the bottom of a wastebasket. She retrieved her Remington 380. With the gun in hand, she walked back to the living room where AJ was yelling at her on the other side of the door. She fired, and then again called 911. In the wake of her death, with her shooter not yet arrested, a community movement emerged calling for swift justice. AJ's shooter was known. Her family and their supporters saw no reason for delay. They believed that Susan Lawrence should have been arrested and charged immediately.
The field is a public field. We live in an apartment complex. Nobody owns anything. We all lease. And even the field is big, so, it's really big. Even when they play out there, they don't play on the side where her apartment is. They play on the other side to avoid all this confusion, but she comes out anyways. Anytime the kids are out there, she's coming outside. She antagonizes kids. She calls them names, slaves, racial slurs, all kinds of stuff, all of the children.
Did she say something to your children?
Yes, she says stuff to everybody's children. She's told them.
Justice for AJ! And we hope that the state attorney will consider these witness statements from those neighbors who lived in that apartment complex who had to deal with this woman who antagonized their children on a systematic basis.
We had only one side of the story, okay? We know that she shot through the door. Of course, on her side of the story, she makes claims that her life was being threatened. And the way the laws are written in this state, and this is what people need to understand, that our hands are tied in law enforcement in these cases where we are instructed that we cannot make the arrest because we have to rule out whether the shooting was justified or unjustified. So one of the biggest things is the interview of witnesses, and some of our witnesses were the mother's kids, and obviously we were not going to interview them that night. We know the direction is going, and we can't give out information, and it's difficult because here's the truth. Did we want to make the arrest that night? Absolutely we did. There's no doubt about it. It's tragic when we see somebody that just shoots through a door and shoots another human being really just because of a neighborhood squabble.
And I just need to clarify something real quick, y'all. I just need to give and tell y'all what I would do if I was the judge, jury, and executioner in this freaking case. Long story short story long, Susan has to be locked up for the rest of her life, or maybe even the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going off of Florida and they stand your ground law. That's like even when the police or the sheriff or the deputy, whoever he was right then, when he was talking, I understand what he's saying, man. But me just sitting back logically without even thinking about the damn laws, how threatened did you really feel for your life and you behind a door? You know what I'm saying? She is outside your home. You inside your home. Yes, she on your porch. Yes, she knocking at your door. But did you feel threatened enough to actually have to pull the trigger and kill her? Like, I don't know about all that. Unless AJ was saying, bitch, I'm finna kill you. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Unless she was saying something like that. But Susan never claimed that AJ was saying anything like that. She just said she was knocking on her door. So they give you enough reason to kill her? Maybe I'm pretty sure she was knocking, like being aggressive and saying something. Don't get me wrong. Now, I'm not saying she was just knocking, being all nice, like, hey, Susan, I want to talk to you. No, she was probably saying some crazy ish, but to me, that's just murder, y'all. I don't know, man. I go back and forth, being team. I go back and forth, but I've been saying it. I'm gonna keep on saying it, y'all. I understand why this lady is not arrested. Not that I agree with it, but I understand it because of this freaking stand your ground law. And oh man, I still don't know how this story gonna end up. Let's go.
Hi. I'm sorry, I'm just sitting here because I was freezing.
Oh, it is chilly in here, isn't it? Susan?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Detective Stiff. This is Detective Peterson.
Okay.
When the 58-year-old sat down with detectives, she repeatedly stated that she had been in fear for her life. When AJ approached her door, the young mother pounded on it aggressively. Critically, Susan claimed at that time, Ajika had threatened to kill her.
So what happened?
Well, that just answered the question that I was just talking about earlier. Not a question, but I just was saying earlier that she never stated that Ajika was saying she was gonna kill you, like boom, 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 boom. Open this door, bitch, I'ma kill you. You know what I'm saying? She never said none of that, but apparently now she's saying that she said that. She didn't say that the night that the night that it actually happened, when the police arrived on the phone call to the dispatcher. So this may be something that she made up later on to try to cover her ass. I don't know.
Tonight that led to the conclusion that...
Well, I'm like, kids go home. So they go home, and then all of a sudden she comes out, and she is just banging on my door. I'm like, go away. I'm not dealing with you tonight. And then she started banging so hard, everything started shaking. And I'm like, you really need to leave. And I said, I'm going to kill you. And she's just banging away. You know, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And ever since she has actually harmed me, I'm like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. I'm like, I don't know what to do with her. And she banged so hard, it looked like my door was going to fly off. And I panicked. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's really going to kill me this time, you know. And so I don't even actually remember picking up the gun. I just remember shooting.
Where do you keep the gun usually?
It's in my bedroom.
She came to your door?
Oh, yeah.
And she was
pounding on it. I was like, what the hell? My cats went flinging.
What was she saying? Was she saying anything?
You don't talk to my sons. I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, you know? And I was like in tears. I'm like shaking. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I thought she had gone away. And then she starts banging again. I'm like, oh, shit.
After some time in the interview room, detectives tell Susan that her neighbor is dead.
Is that what happened? I mean, we got to kind of get specific about this because it's a big deal.
I understand.
Someone's dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that's why I say it's important to be specific and honest about everything. So,
this was an absolute, it's either me or her. I mean, it's just like, I'm like, holy shit.
But did you see her with a gun or another weapon or anything like that?
But I don't know what she had on the outside, you know, when the lights were off, you know, so she came up, it was dark out. And I'm like, great, now she's pounding on my door. Now she's scaring the crap out of me. Now my door's moving, and I didn't have it properly secured. And the next thing I thought she was going to be in my house, killing me. I mean, that's honest to God what I felt. It's not like, I'm fed up or anything. This was a real fear.
I still don't know, y'all. I still don't know which way to go in this freaking case, man. I don't know if this lady is guilty or not. But I'll say one thing that would clear this case up real good if AJ would have actually knocked the door down, then stormed into a house or something. Now you got every right to shoot her. You know what I'm saying? You got every right to kill her at that point. It's just my problem is she was on the outside of the house, man. You really felt that threatened? And she got accounts and records of saying that she had been attacked before by AJ and all that, but oh man. And then you can tell when she realized that AJ was dead, she probably thinking about it like, man, I wish I would have just never even pulled the trigger. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to make excuses for Susan, man. I'm just saying this is a very tricky one. Seriously.
AJ Owens was unarmed when she approached Susan Lawrence's home. Witnesses said that she first knocked on the sliding glass doors before moving to the front door, which was both locked and deadbolted. Not a single witness in the neighborhood overheard AJ threatening to kill Susan, though her yelling was within earshot of many witnesses. Neighbors told police that the words were either indistinguishable or that they only heard AJ calling for Susan to come outside to address her. Susan claimed AJ's banging on her door was severe enough to cause the walls to shake. She claimed that her door frame had been previously broken, making the lock less secure. Though it had been repaired, she believed that the pressure applied by AJ would be enough to break through the door. Crime scene analysts found evidence of the previous damage on the frame. Susan's landlord believed this was caused by the door being slammed shut aggressively in the past, though he could not be certain. Investigators also found that the door and locks were otherwise functioning properly.
And why don't you admit if it was the other way around and a black woman had shot through a door at a white kid, you would have arrested her that night. They were shooting at all our mamas. And we can't let this go.
Oh no, man. Now I gotta call. I said I gotta call the BS when I see it, y'all. When I hear it, man, I think what his name is, Al Sharpton. Ain't that Al Sharpton or is that Jesse Jackson? No, that's Al Sharpton, man. He trying to bring the race card out, y'all. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the race card right here. His statement was wrong anyway. Listen to what he said. He said, if there would have been a black woman shooting a white kid. First of all, the white woman ain't shoot a black kid. She shot a black woman. You know what I'm saying? So his whole statement was crazy. But I don't know, man, about trying to say this a racial thing why this lady not locked up. I'll say even if the shoe was on the other foot, this honestly how I believe, y'all. If the shoe was on the other foot and this was a black woman, and I know some of y'all, this is very controversial. I'm gonna go and put that out there too, because I know some of y'all probably disagree with me vehemently right now. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is if the shoe was on the other foot and there was a black woman in the house with the whole history of what been going on, and there would have been a white woman banging on the door, and she would have shot her, I'm not sure that the police would have arrested her either. That's my problem with my race. You know what I'm saying, man? I feel like sometimes we try to turn stuff racial that's not. I don't think this is racial, y'all. Like I said, some of y'all may disagree with me, but I don't think that's the right angle to go in this one. I think it just goes down to that freaking stand your ground law, which is just crazy to me, man, because she was outside and you was inside. Like there was no real probable cause for you to shoot her. That's why I stand with it. Let's go.
After days with no arrest, the calls for action were growing louder. An organized walk through downtown Ocala, ending at the state attorney's office in the courthouse, sent a clear message: arrest Susan Lawrence. 4 days after the shooting, the 58-year-old was brought in for questioning once more.
I was like, stop, go away, move away. She wouldn't move away. Finally, I'm going to kill you. And that was the last time. And I just fired the weapon.
Okay, was there a spot you picked or something like that?
I just kind of, there was the door. I knew she was out the door. Shot her.
So since the last time.
Susan reiterated that she had no intention to kill. She shot high, so assumed she would not hit her. Later in the interview, detectives' curiosity was piqued by her choice of language. Susan spoke of AJ's behavior not being prudent or reasonable, and that she was in mortal danger. This led detectives to ask, had she been researching Florida's self-defense laws? If so, when had she done so? Before or after she shot and killed AJ Owens? Susan bought her first handgun, the Remington that she used that night, 1.5 years prior. The second, she had bought only a few months before. These purchases were prompted, she said, at least in part, by a desire to protect herself in her new home.
What did you feel that was going to happen?
And she's going to come in there and beat the shit out of me until I was dead.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I felt. I mean, I don't understand why she came over my house. If there was all these issues and problems, why didn't you just call somebody? You know, that's, to me, that's what you would do if you're normal.
You're smart, okay. And the reason is...
Oh, hell no. No, absolutely. I know what you're thinking. Did I look up the laws so I could do something? No, absolutely.
This is not a situation where you set something up to because you were tired of this person. You were tired of the situation that they put you in.
No.
Okay.
Sorry. No.
Susan admitted to looking up information on another case which had involved the stand your ground law as a defense, but had only done so the previous day. She read an article or two via Facebook, she said. Investigators later found that she had made internet searches for the language of the state law, and then she had quoted it back to them.
Hello, everyone. Sheriff Billy Woods here. I wanted to come to you tonight to give you an update on the homicide that occurred over the weekend. Tonight, we have arrested 58-year-old Susan Lawrence for the killing of Miss A.J. Owens.
Wow.
Now, many of you were struggling to understand why there was not an immediate arrest. And that's one of the things. My detectives cannot complete an investigation without getting all sides of a story. And that night, all we had was one person's story, and that was the shooter's story. But Miss Owens' story had to be told through evidence and the eyes of witnesses who were there.
On June 6, 2023, Susan was charged for the killing of Ajika Owens. To the disappointment of family and the community who supported them, the state claimed that they were unable to pursue a second-degree murder charge. The DA did not feel they had sufficient evidence to prove Susan's intent to kill when she fired. Instead, she faced a lesser charge of first-degree manslaughter. The state would argue that she had not intended to kill AJ, but had certainly fired with a careless disregard for her life.
Now, see, that's why I got to call the BS again. I got to call the cap. I feel like she did try to kill her when she shot. Because I tried to shoot above her, so I didn't hit her. I was just trying to scare her or whatever. If you really tried to not shoot her, you know, if you just think about a door frame being seen, just think about a door frame. If you really not trying to shoot somebody, you would shoot at the very top of the door. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody walking around this bitch 7 foot tall unless you're in the NBA. You know what I'm saying, man? So that's where you would shoot if you really not trying to hit her. That's BS.
Susan's trial was scheduled for the summer the following year.
The reason why I was asking for a speedy trial is I'm not getting care in jail. I'm running blood pressures of 200 over 100, and I'm just afraid I'm going to die because they're not caring for me at all.
The trial commenced in August 2024.
The defendant believed that Audrika was going to break down that door and kill her, but you're also going to hear the defendant say that Audrika was at the door that evening saying, I want to speak to you because I don't like the way you're talking to my sons. At the end of this case, you're going to hear that the defendant, Susan Lawrence, knowing the police were coming, was in her apartment with the door locked and shot through that locked front door and killed Audrika Owens, who was unarmed.
And in Susan's mind, in Susan's heart, in Susan's soul, in Susan's core. She feels like AJ is going to commit pulverizer, so she shoots the fire. And you'll hear evidence that the magazine of that gun can carry 6 bullets, but Susan only fired once. She didn't fire twice, she didn't fire 3 times, not 4 times, not 5, not 6 times. Once.
Man, this is BS. This is BS, though. She only fired once because after she fired the first time, she was listening to see if she still can hear AJ out there. And when she realized she didn't hear AJ no more, she was like, oh, you know what? I actually shot her.
In order to save her life.
The jury heard from neighborhood children and their parents about Susan's behavior prior to the shooting. That she struck one of them with a hurled roller skate, threw an iPad, and attempted to strike them with an umbrella. They responded by telling Susan that they were going to tell their mother, to which she replied, "Go ahead, I don't care." Accusations that Susan had used racial slurs towards the children in the past were excluded from the trial. It was thought that introducing these sentiments to the jury would cloud their decision-making, as well as open a line for appeal for Susan later, if convicted. Jurors did hear about other alleged incidents in which she used insulting language towards the neighborhood children. Susan Lawrence chose not to take the stand in her own defense. Jurors heard her version of events through her videotaped interviews, throughout which she continued to complain about the children and speak unkindly of AJ. 2 neighbors were called to testify to the loud banging they heard on Susan's door that night, including Yvonne Costa from Unit 4, who shared a wall with Susan's apartment.
Started shaking and like pounding on the wall. And it really scared me.
Okay. How long after you heard the door slam did you hear that pounding?
Very shortly, within a few minutes.
How would you describe the pounding?
It was very loud and it scared me because the wall was shaking.
When you heard the banging, what was your first thought of who was causing that?
I thought Susan was banging on the wall.
Did you later come to learn that that was not the case?
Yes.
Okay.
What did you hear?
I heard a lot of pounding, a lot of yelling, screaming, and then I heard a gunshot.
Did you hear a lot of pounding on a door like it was going to be pushed down?
Yes.
Did you call it like a cop knock?
That's what I call it.
Was it very loud?
Very loud.
Did you hear anyone screaming?
Yes, I heard a woman's voice screaming. To me, it sounded like she was screaming words, but I could not understand any of the words.
Was there a lot of pounding on the door?
Yeah.
Regardless of whether AJ's banging on her door was frightening, the state argued that there was no real threat. Susan's first call to 911 that night had ended only 2 minutes before she fired.
I gotta point something out real quick, Bean Team. I ain't trying to be funny, but Susan has aged like 10 freaking years in a year in prison, like jail or whatever, man. Ever since, look at this lady and look at her before all this happened, man. Now I understand she lost weight, but I'm just saying, look at her face. This lady has been through it. That's why I said, man, as soon as the officer revealed to her that somebody was dead, meaning AJ, rest in peace. From that point on, she was thinking like, I just wish I would have never did this. And look at the toll it has took on her life. This lady looked like she has aged seriously a decade in a year.
Had been told that the police were on their way. The landlord, Charles Gabbard, testified that prior to the shooting, he had repaired a jamb on the front door. He said that it was structurally sound after he repaired it, despite some cosmetic damage. The door was sturdy and had a chain, a deadbolt, and a lock. Only the chain was not in use on the night in question. The trial was over within a week. Jury deliberations lasted 2.5 hours.
I'm going to have the clerk read the verdict.
Verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find as to count 1 of the charge.
The defendant is guilty of manslaughter. Did the state prove beyond...
Outside the courthouse, Ajika's mother, Pamela Dias, thanked the jury for their service and reaching the correct decision.
Testimony, the interrogation, where she showed no remorse, continues to show no remorse, displayed the utmost care and concern for her cats. And she literally had just shot and killed a mom of 4, rendering them with their entire support system, their everyday childhood experiences, future, just gone, just like that.
AJ's children are with family and are said to be coping the best they can under the circumstances. At the age of 60, Susan Lawrence faces a sentence of up to 30 years. At the time of publication, this sentence has not yet been handed down.
Grass grows all around. And on this branch.
And I just gotta say, man, I agree. If that would be the sentence that I would give her, manslaughter, man. I would give her manslaughter for that. Because like I said, man, like, dude, you just can't, I can't, there is nothing you can tell me to make me believe that you was that scared for your life in that situation.
There was a nest, the prettiest nest that you ever did see. Let me see your nest. Well, the nest on the branch, and the branch on the tree, and the tree in the hole, and the hole in the ground. Green grass grows all around, and the green grass grows all around.
That was the tragic case of Ajika Owens. Many thanks to everyone who watches and supports us here at JTL. A special thank you goes to Kraz Millie and Violet Ross for joining our members lounge. I'm Kevin. This is Just Thought Lounge, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, man, that's I think that was the right ending to this story, y'all. Seriously, man, freaking manslaughter for that. Because I ain't gonna lie, Big T, I was going back and forth, but I did tell y'all, if I really had to make a decision as the judge, jury, and the executioner, I said I would give her murder, but I wasn't thinking of manslaughter. I think manslaughter would be the better one in this case, just because of the whole stand your ground law and all that, man. This one right here, great freaking video from Kevin, y'all. Great freaking video. I'm glad he covered this case, because this was the most definitely one of those cases where I can see both sides of the story and look at both sides of the fence and stuff, and it was just like, wow, man. So freaking just sad how a neighborly dispute, some neighbors having a problem with each other, could end up like this, man. And this should have never got to this freaking point, man. Should have never got to this point. But like I said, man, rest in peace to AJ. And it's not even really set in stone how many years that lady gonna get. If she get 30 years, she pretty much gonna die in prison. You know what I'm saying? Then you can tell that she been going through a lot. Me personally, y'all, I feel like if Susan could go back to that day and not kill AJ, she would not. You know what I'm saying, man? Because I know she, just looking at her, I was making fun of it, but just looking at her, you can tell she been stressed the F out. But she should. And that's another thing, BT. I'm gonna let y'all go. I hope I ain't been coming across as me trying to not make excuses, but go soft on Susan or try to justify what she did or something. No, at the end of the day, she ended somebody's life, so I'm not trying to throw a pity party for what she going through. I'm just saying that you can tell that it really is affecting her, and I'm thinking more than likely that if she could take it back, she would. But I digress. I'm gonna go and let y'all go now, Bean Team. I appreciate y'all coming on back as always. And before y'all leave, just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that if you ain't did that yet. And come on back tomorrow for another live stream on a good old Saturday. And until then, my friends, also, remember this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. keep going. Yeah.